on there, as always.
Yeah, I tell you, it actually, the East of Pretoria is renowned for the Linwood Strip. I think everybody saw that insert on Carte Blanche, with that club where things go horribly wrong. But I feel like, about 10 clubs have returned to Hatfield, obviously for entertainment for students. And it feels like Burnett Street is now becoming, like Linwood Strip. I have my own strip now. But anyway, I think the economic situation that we find ourselves in, and with people being desperate, criminality in general is in the increase, and the fight on the streets are becoming more tougher every day. I mean, as my security manager said to me the other day, they use 10 cans of pepper spray a night now. Starting they sort of start Wednesdays and they finish at Sundays. So just to try and people not to get into fights, I mean, and trying to keep people alive and also to protect themselves, So so the two main things at the moment that we are, trying to manage with landlords is how do we deal with clubs not sticking to the regulations, and two, how do we deal with noise pollution? Because you can imagine clubs and student accommodation don't exactly sort of coexist very well if it's not being managed well. But all in all, is good in Hatfield. I mean, I got my partner that I had here for 19 years, Donnie Besson, resigned, and he was replaced by an ex-military man with the name of Dion van Rensburg, who is doing a sparkling job. Dion is doing an awesome job in Hatfield, managing the security vendor that we've got. And we do as good as we can. We put a lot of money into security on a monthly basis, just short of R1 million. So, we try and keep it functional. And, the only vision we have is, we want to keep these young people whole until they've got their degree and can become something that's productive to South Africa and to the economy. So in saying that, I think we're fortunate. I think there are areas that, from a crime perspective, are doing a lot worse than what we are doing, because we got some resources and we have the backing of the University of Pretoria, which is fantastic. Additional resources were placed at the reses, and also additional resources were placed at the High Performance Center, which is sort of just adjacent to us, east of Jan Schober. So I think having the backing of an anchor institution like the University of Pretoria makes it a lot easier to manage, and because they understand that we are acting as the agents on the outside. The Hatfield CID essentially manages Hatfield as a student town on behalf of the University of Pretoria, and so having the backing of UP is fantastic. I think you probably know that we're also in the throes of a municipal strike. As the mayor has just said of late, that it's long gone past a industrial action situation. It's become a militant, aggressive, and criminal strike, really, because vehicles are being torched, people are being kept away from their jobs, and it's been a really difficult 4 months for the city. And I'm happy to report that had no impact in Hatfield and the surrounding areas of Hatfield. What we've done is our cleaning team have started to deal with urban management issues of a little bit of a wider area than we are responsible for. And the other day, when the Victoria Springbok parade came through Hatfield in Burnett Street, we were very proud of the way that the suburb looked. So from an urban management perspective, very, very happy with the work that the team have done. And I think having an in-source team does have tremendous benefits from that perspective. If I can go back to crime, in the main, we probably battle with, like many other areas, with cell phone grabbings, opportunistic criminals. But we also see that organized crime have got their eyes on vehicle theft. We've seen in the last 6 months or so a increase in vehicle theft. But again, comparing it with our neighbors, we're doing a lot better. Obviously due to the resources that we are putting in. I think managing crime will be a situation that will continue, and we just got to work with the resources that we got. So in the main, what we're saying is opportunistic sort of criminals trying to grab a cell phone or a wallet or something. One of the most hilarious things that happened the other day, somebody was having a dinner at one of the restaurants here in Burnett Street, and a criminal grabbed the chicken off his plate. So we're still laughing about that. Anyway, so that's how desperate people are. In terms of the IMSD bylaw implementation, it's still being held back because only very recently, in the sort of last week or so, a financial head was appointed by the city, and we probably will get answers from finance, regarding the SAPS system that they have, and will they be able to collect levies on behalf of IMSDs. We don't know at the moment, but as I said, at least those critical appointments were made. Something else that I can report is there's a new chief of police for the TMPD. The Tshwane Metro Police have got a new chief. Her name is Yolanda Faru. She's from Cape Town. She was 19 years in Cape Town, then started the Metro Police in Port Elizabeth, and with the political turmoil in PE, she found herself now as a permanent appointee or employee in Tshwane. And I had a meeting with her the other day, and I am pleasantly surprised about her willingness to work with communities and the way that she sees the role of the TMPD in managing crime per se. So very happy to report that. Lastly, and just quickly, the Hatfield precinct plan that we have embarked on has still not been approved by council. At 99, the transport department had a problem with some of the transport recommendations, the reestablishment of a transport hub and those sort of things. And we're currently working with city officials for a workaround plan in that regard. It's disappointing, but we need to find a way to get the plan approved. And yeah, we just lastly, I see that Vumacam have obtained some way leaves to put poles up for monitoring and cameras from a technology perspective, which is an interesting development. I know that they're quite big in Joburg, but they've also even in Hatfield they got a way leave for 5 poles, and yeah, so we'll be seeing how that from a technology perspective will be playing out, if there could be benefit for us as a CID, and if we can use their technology to make Hatfield safer. But in the main, Hatfield is good. We can do better always, but we're not doing badly, Anne.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not. Thank you so much for your feedback. I was also at one stage I'm interested in, well, I'm sure a lot of people are, in 2 things. One is the Municipal Systems Act. Actually, the route that Tshwane has chosen does allow for them to delegate the authority to collect the levies. So are you saying that they don't want to go that route?
You have a choice, Anne.
Oh, yes.
And the discussions that I had with my board is that we would prefer to do our own collections, especially if you find yourself in a city with a 4 billion or some serious debt amount. I'm not saying that the city will not pay it over. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that for the last 19 years, we've collected our own debtors. We've had minimal write-offs, and the relationship that we have with our stakeholders is a good one, because we prove that we show value, and if you show value, I believe people will pay. So from our perspective, the board's current stance is that we would like the agency agreement to do our own debtors.
Yes. Okay, thank you. So we'll continue to watch that with great interest. And the other quick point that I wanted you just to update us on, you did have a good relationship with a faith-based organisation to work with the homeless in your area. Is that still working, or were there some problems with that?
And my feeling is that, sometimes these things are above my pay grade, and when it comes to these social ills that we have to deal with, firstly, I'm of the opinion that every area have to deal with its own issues. We cannot expect anybody else to deal with it, and the faith community in our area are quite involved from a homeless perspective. I do believe that landlords can play a bigger role, and the idea that we have is to engage with landlords. I go down to the basements of landlord buildings. They got parking right down to -4, and I've never seen a vehicle ever parked at -4. So if we can engage with landlords and ask them, aren't you prepared to put bunk beds in for 10 car guards or 10 homeless people? And in the main, in my area, it is car guards. 2 showers and 2 toilets, which we will monitor as a CID for you. I think we will deal with our own issues, and I think we need to be brave enough. We just need to find a landlord that's brave with us to do this, and I think then we will be able to deal with our own issues in a more effective way.
Yeah, thank you. So we'll follow that with great interest. Another creative idea. I'm not sure how our colleagues in the field feel, but I must say I would follow that with interest. Do we have any questions for Lucas at the moment?
Maybe, and if I need a bit of help, and I think we need a bit of muscle to deal with this thing. I think there's a need for all areas to formalize car guards. At the moment, car guards, there's no regulation, that look after car guards, and I have about 70 of them in my area. We have engaged with some of the bigger players in the security industry. We have the opinion that car guards should be registered with CIRA, even if it's a lower graded thing. But the problem we're having at the moment is that initial 750 Rand that people have to pay to do that initial CIRA registration and test is too expensive for these people. So what we're looking at is we want CIRA to consider bringing down the amount, that initial amount and the annual amount, and that we can put car guards on some sort of a system, a registration system, and some sort of framework where we can manage them in a more effective way in open spaces. If anybody can give me some help with that regard, I'll really appreciate that.
So, Lucas, thank you. It's a problem for many of the improvement districts. We will put you in touch with the Nelspruit manager. They've had a long working relationship with Extended Public Works for their car guard management, but I think we maybe have a separate conversation about that as well. It's a very interesting subject, and I think it interests a lot of people. Thank you for bringing it up. We also will watch your your work, but maybe we have a separate conversation on that. Thank you. I'll do
Thanks,
that
Jan.
connection as well. So now, Siobhan, we're looking forward to update from you. I'm going to ask Rudy to turn his video off. I'll turn mine off too.